Hey guys, thank you very much for joining another CloudTask Marketplace Skillbridge. We'll be hosting, the last one for the year, right? So all of you, happy holidays. Again, if you're looking for, jobs for January, right? Continue working on your profiles. Make sure you're being specific. Because I've had a lot of conversations. A lot of you guys have been following up, trying to lock in, those roles before the year is out. And I have, let you guys know that historically it's definitely been a lot harder to get on these interviews end of the year. They have happened. The bar has definitely been a lot higher, right? Throughout the year the bar is a little bit lowered, but yeah, towards the end of the year most companies are trying to see who's been able to generate XYZ, and see if they should be with a contract renewal or if they need to part ways. So again, if you're currently employed, passively looking, make sure that you're closing off the year right. If you're actively looking, make sure you not only focus on trying to set up interviews, book interviews, but work on a few courses. Maybe there's some type of automation course that you can take, right? We've definitely been sharing other courses that you can potentially take. If it has anything related to GTM and Clay, definitely reach out to Dave Manjura, and we can definitely start setting you guys up for success. But towards the end of the year, work on those profiles. Make sure you guys are standing out. Make sure you're being as specific as possible. It's okay to do another video. And a quick sneak peek is you are now able to do multiple videos, right? So you have your primary intro video, and then you have multiple videos at the bottom. I think it's up to 3 or 2 additional videos that you can do. So those of you that are looking for an onboarding specialist role, maybe now you want to create a new video where you can actually share screens, right? You come up on the little bubble at the bottom, you're sharing screens, you're walking through a presentation that you typically would do with either a customer or as an account executive. You're walking someone through a quick presentation, vice versa. I've seen a lot of people be creative. So this is the opportunity for those creative individuals to now, add another video. And that just goes to show you that, your first intro video is enough. Now moving over to 2026, if it's a more specialized role, maybe you want to show them how you set up a sequence, how you set up an automation workflow. So again, if you have a top rated plus badge, you will now be enabled to have multiple videos, and that allows you to show off more of your expertise, right? Show off how you can stand out from the crowd. So let's share screens real quick and get started. As you guys know, we're going to discuss what you need to be activated, what you need to become a top rated, and what you need to become a top rated plus. Top rated to top rated plus, we'll get into the details. The biggest difference is the English level C2 and above, right? With C2 native is the highest level. And then work-wise, work experience, the bar would be 4 years to 5 years above. So let's get into it. So for those of you, if you want to see if you are currently active, how your profile looks, you guys could just go to cloudtask.com, right? Type in your name, or you could go here, go build your team, hit on candidates, and it's going to take you here. So right away, you'll be able to see the top rated badges. Let me zoom in a bit. All right. So you'll be able to see top rated badges right next to your headshot. What is needed in order to be activated? A picture. If you haven't uploaded a professional picture of just you, professional headshots are what we've seen to be, what's getting you guys at least, a glance at your title, then a glance at your video. So make sure it's a professional picture. Some individuals, even though we've gotten a lot better, the community definitely has gotten a lot better. There's a difference between, a personal picture, either you're going out, right? We got the sunglasses on, right? Maybe we're at the beach. So make sure that the more professional, the better. Gustavo from Mexico, good professional picture. Rosalind, good professional picture. Now, what comes after? What comes after is the title. Oh, too much. So let's close out on this little chat bot. So Outbound sales and customer success, 5+ years driving revenue for tech and SaaS companies. All right, so I have a better understanding that he's worked with technology, he's worked with SaaS companies. So the title uh, is allowing me to, want to click on his profile and then potentially, read about his about me section. Let's see what type of tools he's listed, what type of work experience he's had. Sales rep. Okay, so he's had, quite a few years as a sales representative from 2022 all the way up to 2025. All right, so Gustavo's given a good update, right? He's given a good uh, experience about what he's been doing. Now, the About Me section listing some numbers here. I sourced over 1.2 million in SaaS pipeline and exceeded 120% of quota through targeted outreach and value focused demos. So I was also doing outreach, right? Sending out emails, uh, giving someone a quick call, and also presenting a demo. Cool. So I have a better understanding of what Gustavo does. Now, before even getting to the video, the difference right away, let's say from Rosalind, is virtual assistant data entry, transcription, and admin support. Not bad. It's better, right? I've seen people just list out virtual assistant and that's it. But again, the title, guys, think of that as your subject line. If it's not enticing, if it's not impacting, and it just says a role or several roles, it will most likely get overlooked. But if you mention what type of industries you've worked in, quick little number, right? If you could mention a KPI that you've been able to achieve and exceed successfully, that's always going to look great on that title. Oh, okay. You generated how many appointments? If you're looking for an SDR role, you managed over 120 people. Okay, I'd like to hear that. I'm looking for a sales manager, a customer success manager. So make sure that your title is enticing, impacting to these hiring leaders. All right. So, virtual assistant data entry. Rosalind, if you're out there, shoot at least how many years, right? I think you put it here somewhere. But if you didn't, let me check out that work experience. So, we have a few work experiences 2024, 2023. 2022. All right, cool. So I would give them a quick summary, right? Even if you have more years of experience, hey, I have +4 years, right? +4 years of virtual assistant and data entry work in industries like XYZ, use software like XYZ, right? So that is a quick reason, why not a top rated just yet. Professional headshot, good stuff. There is an about me section. Awesome. Now, let me see the video real quick.
Is a pleasure to meet you through this platform. I hold a bachelor's degree in international relations and diplomacy.
All right. So I
And
know
over
you
the
guys
past few
can't
years, I've
hear
used
it
it.
exactly. Let me pause it real quick. Oh, shouldn't have gone back. Too zoomed in. There we go. So English level wise, and as you can see, she's listed B2 to C1. I would definitely agree with Rosalind as far as a high B2, right? So top rated badge. Now, so you don't have a enticing title. English level is a B2, right? So now it gets harder for you to get that top rated badge. Now she does have her work experience listed with good detail, right? So this is something that I want to, I want to recognize this is a pro for her work experience listed. 3 work experiences are minimum. If you guys have more relevant, more recent experience, obviously, add it there. But yeah, if you have more, definitely add it there. But I'd say here the difference is English level. Let me quickly move on to. Let me see. It's probably gonna do the same thing. There we go. Let me move on to Gustavo and just want to hear out.
Hi, this is Gustavo. I bring over 5 years of experience.
Okay, Gustavo listed himself as native fluency, and I would say Gustavo's a C1, right? C1. I'd say I'd want to hear out the video a little bit more to see if he is a C2, indeed. But nonetheless, top rated, good, good picture, right? A good professional picture. You need a a good, enticing, impacting title. You need to make sure that your English level, again, sometimes we come across a lot more fluent when we're having a conversation with our friends, with our colleagues, our coworkers, our family members. And that's probably because you're a bit nervous. You know that you're going to have to take another video, maybe even a third, a fourth, a fifth. So make sure that you guys keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You might feel uncomfortable for a few minutes. You didn't like it, delete it, right? So just delete it. So Gustavo's English level is higher. He's got a more impacting title, good about me section, and again, the video. So with that being said, top rated badge. If you guys are doing the minimum efforts to be activated, that means you put a picture up, right? You have a title, you listed a sentence or two on the About Me section, you added one or two work experiences, right? And then again, for those of you that aren't putting that effort, it might be because you're passively, working, and I understand. But those of you that are actively looking and actively reaching out, hey, what's new? What job posts are out there? This is definitely an area of opportunity for you guys to make sure that you guys are listing out your work experience completely. You guys are putting a great About Me section, and you're listing out your work experience, like I stated, specifically as far as what KPIs. KPIs, so numbers talk. On the video, guys, same as your work experience. Sometimes you guys just, go off on soft skills and hard skills. Hey, I'm a great team worker. I'm very organized, right? But you have to give real examples, either written on your work experience or on your video on how you've been able to be organized. What type of workflow have you built, any SOPs you've built and followed yourself. Again, how many people you've managed directly, indirectly, and what campaigns they've been a part of. So all of these things you need to keep into account for the new year. Just to emphasize once again, if you're top rated plus, make sure you guys are going in and adding a new video, right? Maybe, I've heard it from quite a few candidates that they would like to be able to add multiple videos, right? For the new year, we might get some more creative roles as well. I know people have wanted to show off, how they can edit their own videos, XYZ, using platforms, tools, and their own knowledge. So make sure that you guys are revamping your profiles in the marketplace. Very important, because there's a ton of other candidates that are doing that, and they're landing interviews. So again, not impossible to land a few interviews before the year's out, but the bar has definitely been brought up. So to be activated, we got that. Top rated, we understand that it's not completely closed as far as AB2, right? But that just means we have to check off every other box, right? So work on your profiles. Make sure that your About Me section, there's at least a paragraph, four sentences, and that should give a decent amount of a summary. Make sure if you're doing a paragraph, all three sentences aren't about your personal life, right? Kids, dogs, cats, what city you live in, what hobbies you have, right? If that, keep that very short. That could be a one-liner. Same thing on your videos. And then, yeah, moving forward to your work experience, not to sound like a broken record, the most relevant work experiences I would add, right? I've had, experiences from working in the hotel industry. If you guys are getting out of the hotel industry and you only have experience as a receptionist, a bellboy, bellhop, if you worked at a retail store and you've worked as a salesperson, but it's been more B2C, right? You're at the store, you're actually working there, then it makes sense for you to add it there, right? And on your video, express, how sales is sales no matter what, even if it's virtual, even if it's face to face. I've seen some people that come from more of a B2C experience mention, hey, I think it's even harder, right? You actually have the person in front of you letting you know yes, no. right in front of you. I've also done calls in the past, right? So we definitely have to make our profile. Persuasion could be a way of stating it, but yeah, we definitely have to make sure that our profile is letting someone know or addressing the elephant in the room. Like, here's my experience. I've done, the toughest type of sales. I've done the toughest type of customer support, customer success. People coming into your face, yelling at you. I've dealt with patients before in clinics because I've been a healthcare medical billing specialist. So if your experience lies mainly in B2C, again, add that work experience. You shouldn't, hide behind, hey, I only have one or two. Add that work experience, because if you have zero, or if you only listed one, you're going to look like a very entry level green individual. And if you're looking to make anything from as low as 1,200 bucks, right, and north, then you don't want to show that you're a green individual for these type of roles, right? So yeah, with that being said, activation, we got that clear. Top rated, we have that clear. Top rated plus. So said it earlier on, it's everything you need to be a top rated plus. Now the English level is a C2, right? You are actively looking for a job, and the work experience is 4+ years, right? So in the roles that you've held in the past, you've held this, or multiple roles, right? But a 4-year track record, you are now closer to that top rated plus badge. And again, allowing you guys to be able to apply directly, allowing you guys now to be able to add new videos, which helps you stand out even more. Some people, get thrown off and say, hey, you know, I, I was doing just fine with just one video. I think I'm good. I'm going to leave one. You'll start changing your mind once you see other profiles in the marketplace, having different types of videos, having multiple interviews, right? Because if I've held different hats in different companies in the past, then my profile, right, will probably be getting, a few interview requests a lot quicker. And especially if my profile is letting everyone in the hiring community know that I've been a manager and account executive, I've been a customer support rep, and I've also managed or led a team of 20, 15, 3, 5. You're going to have more opportunities, right? If you're closed on, I only want support, I only want chat and email campaigns, you're going to have a smaller window, right, of interview requests, of matching. Keep that in mind. And that's it. So we normally go into the success story. We're going to do it a little bit different today. The whole point of the showcasing of the success story, is for you guys to see a successful, right, interview, what someone typically does. At some point, we will potentially show some bloopers. No, I'm kidding. I know no one wants to, see when, we're down and low, but again, we'll focus on what we should be doing before an interview. The success stories were more to showcase that. Were you researching a company, right? So that's number one. Were you researching a company before jumping on a call? Now, there's two types of people that I've run into. It's either you get really nervous and or you just procrastinate towards the very end, and then you quickly check and see what they do. You either don't ever do any type of research and let it be because we're very comfortable on how we're going to perform on this interview, right? I am literally just shopping around everywhere and saying yes to every interview, and I didn't take the time to actually check in, see what type of product, what type of service they're in. Did I see any testimonials in their company website? So what I want to do on this session, instead of watching the video, the actual interview in action, well, recorded, I want to actually jump on and share screens and show you guys, hey, here's an organization, random one, anything. It could be anything at all. And then we can diagnose what you should do, how long you should typically take, so you don't You don't overwhelm yourself and think that you have to become an expert on what it is they do, but you should know what they do in a sentence. That's it. That's it. So on this session, we're gonna go over what you should be doing, which is research, have a good elevator pitch about yourself, and then move on to having a impacting one or two impacting questions before the interview is out. There's multiple things and there's more things, and we've shared that with the community already. But again, I want you guys to focus on those three things, which again would be research enough to know what it is they do in a sentence, have a good intro about what it is you do, let it be within 60 seconds. If you do it less, no worries. If you're taking the mic and you're speaking for now 5 to 6 minutes, pause, give the mic back to the person interviewing you. But again, if you have a very good intro, you're taking 2 minutes and a half, 3 minutes, that's fine, right? If you guys have more experience, that's what we've seen. But and then finally, have one or two impacting questions. Uh, those would be the three things we're gonna hit on, and then finally some do's and don'ts, right, for that interview phase, and then any questions that you guys may have. All right, so let me go here, compare, and I hope. Yeah, sharing screens is going to be okay. Software. So let's say, hmm, well, this will be, I guess, kind of easier, but software companies in South Florida. All right. So first one, Follett Software Solutions. Let's go with them. All right. Slowly but surely. All right. So within the first landing page, right? Typically, companies gonna let you know what they do. Follett software, track assets, automate support, and maximize your budget. Technology suite, managing devices, digital resources, and tech support with ease using connected technology solutions for schools that centralize operations and reduce IT strain. So stopping there without watching any other videos, they're in the tech space specific for schools. All right. I see that you guys are a technology. Seems like schools are your primary, customer. Not sure if, you guys are branching off to other customers or if you currently have other customers, but that's what I got. Is that what you guys do? So by just looking, and of course we could do this a lot better. We could check and see what type of journey they have. For me as an individual looking for a job with Follett software, looking for them as a buyer, right, as a customer. And something that I can notice here, okay, they don't have a chat bot, but they do have a quick little form, CTA at the bottom, first name, work email, job title, country. Okay, cool. So I see that this is a way that they're capturing potential new customers. All right. All right. I'm feeling comfortable with what it is they do. Now, where our technology makes us different, a little USP, unique selling proposition here, asset recovery, IT ticket management, mobile first field support, and then smart AI tools. Okay, I could go back and potentially read a little bit more, but I'm trying to look for any customer testimonials just so I can see where they're from, right? If they don't have any, that's fine, not the end of the world. So Follett software. Last thing I want to do is Follett. Oh no, YouTube, right? YouTube. Oh God, can't can't. So if I go to YouTube and I type in right, Follett, Follett software. Might be a few, of course, but if we looked at the logo, looks like the same logo, right? So I think this one is the right Follett software. All right. IT Asset Manager by Follett Software. A minute 19. Okay. You know what? let me stop sharing and share with computer sound. That way we could do this exercise a little bit better. Compartir pantalla. Chrome tab, Follett software. And again, there could have been a better video that we find, but for now, let's go on IT Manager by Follett.
Today's schools depend on thousands of devices to support teaching and learning, but managing all of them doesn't have to be complex. IT Asset Manager gives your district complete visibility so you always know what you have, where it is, and who's responsible for it. With a built-in help desk, support tickets include full asset context, helping your team resolve issues faster and avoid duplicate work. Mobile ready for fieldwork, your team can scan barcodes, manage check-ins and checkouts, and complete maintenance tasks, all on site without delays. With barcode scanning, check-in, checkout, and preventative maintenance tools, districts can report up to 30% fewer lost or misplaced devices and up to 30% lower maintenance costs. Designed specifically for K-12, IT Asset Manager supports one-to-one initiatives with MDM integration, plus audits and service requests, all with fewer resources. And coming soon, AI features to help automate routine tasks and surface insights.
All right. Okay, cool. So that was maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly, but it felt like 2 minutes, right? It felt like 2.5 minutes, quickly checking out the company website, checking out a, 1 minute video. And then that way you guys are going to feel a lot more comfortable with what it is they do. I'm visual. I'm sure most of you guys are. And if, you could use a combination of both, right? You check out what product or service they have on their website, what it is that they do on a quick video, right? And it's just going to help you feel a lot more comfortable, especially if you looked at the job description, right? So besides researching on the company, you guys should be looking at the job post. Most of you guys are. Company website, right? Within that company website, I wanted to see a testimonial, see what clients have said about the organization in the past. Then you get a little brief, either name of the person and role, or you get all that and the company itself. Just wanted to see if it was something outside of schools. Why? Because I'm going to skip the intro just now and just move straight to the third point. I will come back to the intro, but with the impacting questions, if you do a good job on the research, you're going to be able to ask a few impacting questions, right? So like, hey, I watched your 1 minute video about how you guys are helping schools with their IT maintenance and assessments as far as what's going to be needed for the new year, barcode scanning, check-ins, right? So again, that could be done a lot better. But at the end of the day, the way that you formulate your question, you're going to be able to come across as a consultant, because you're going to say, hey, I saw this video, saw XYZ, and I wanted to know, are you guys expanding to a different market, or is it just, is it universities mainly? Is it high schools? Are you guys also now for this year branching off to elementary schools? Are you guys already using, right? So shows off your curiosity, shows that you want to understand what the market holds for next year. And then most importantly, if you're not asking these questions, which I've seen probably 50% are not asking questions and impacting questions, you're not standing out from the crowd. So that's definitely number one. Do some research enough to feel comfortable if the question comes up. Why did you choose to have an interview with us? What jumped to your attention when you saw what we did? Do you know what we do? I hope you did your research, because I'm going to ask you, what is it that we do? So we've had different variations of different ways that hiring companies will ask, but the biggest thing is for you to feel comfortable with what it is you're getting yourself into, what it is you could potentially be representing, even as a manager, a sales rep, a customer support rep, an automations specialist, right? A lead generation specialist, a virtual assistant. So know what you're getting yourself into, but know that that research is going to help you with point number 3, which is having an impacting question. If I would have looked on the website, right, and I see that they don't have a chat bot, right, and I know that they're looking to hire me for for a position as a customer support rep, and I noticed that, there's no chat tool popping up. Some companies have tried it and didn't like it. Some companies haven't even tried it, right? And some have it hidden, right? So again, the question will again come up. Hey, out of curiosity, I've used in multiple campaigns in different companies over the last 8 years, customer chat tools, right? This allows you to capture, incoming customers with their inquiries. You might do it by email and phone, and text message, right? But again, being able to have it on your website on a specific landing page might be a good opportunity. Is there any reason why you guys haven't done it or aren't doing it today? Shows curiosity, shows that, oh, okay, all right, this person's done it in the past. Let's see what they've done, what tool they've used. On interviews, I've seen people that do a really good job of showing themselves as a consultant. The person interviewing will actually ask you more questions about previous campaigns. Oh, you were in the donation philanthropist campaigns, so you've been, speaking with individuals that have to do donations, XYZ. Awesome. We're trying to launch something like that. I'd like to learn a little bit more about what you were doing in that previous campaign, right? You're going to be a lot more appealing to these hiring leaders, hiring companies, if you come off as a consultant. And how do you do that? With some good impacting questions. The more the impacting questions, the better. So the cliche, hey, when do I start? Hey, I know it's end of the year, but I'm ready. When are you looking for someone to start? How many PTOs do I get? What are my medical benefits? Do I get any dentist plan XYZ? So you guys are being hired as contractors. Know that. You guys are free agents, so you can find out about these benefits, but I would say do that closer towards the offer stage. You haven't been invited to a second round interview, third, you might be feeling comfortable. Those type of questions come up towards the offer stage, is our recommendation. Don't use those last few minutes on a call. Hey, thank you so much for joining. Do you have any questions for me? That is a test. If the answer is nope, thanks a lot, I got everything I needed, so did they. You're not standing out from the crowd. So research on the company, cool. Have an intro. We're getting to that. And make sure that you guys have at least one, to not say 2 to 3, right? But one. At least one question, a good one. It has to be a good one, right? That should trigger, and it should be real, right? It should be legit. I am actually curious about the role I am about to embark on. I'm going to ask you a question. So make sure that you guys are curious. Make sure. And it kind of allows you to express how you're a consultant in the space and not just a rep waiting to be given orders or a list, XYZ. So if you guys are able to achieve that, do enough research so you feel comfortable, have a good intro about your previous work experience, and have one or two impacting questions before closing off, that's going to be a better formula for success as far as moving forward to a second interview, getting that offer, and landing a job. All right. So now for the intro, a lot of you guys have a lot of experience, and we forget at times that that's fine, but the individual that's hiring, that shouldn't be the main thing we're discussing. So I'll give a quick example. If I've held a sales manager role previously for the last 2 years, but I am now on an interview for account executive or a senior SDR, a trainer, a customer success specialist, so many different names, right? But yeah, if I'm going to now be presenting a demo, XYZ, now my interview and my thought track should immediately be, hey, give them high level of what I have, and then hone in on what the heck they are hiring today. Because again, these are tests that companies are saying, oh, you got multiple different roles in 10 years. That's awesome. Notice that you've been a sales manager most recently. Why are you looking to switch to an SDR, right? So again, the way that we're able to give a good introduction about ourselves is going to help out. stay away from some of those cutthroat questions that usually come up. If you were so successful at that company, why are you there no longer? Why did you guys part ways? Why are you looking to switch from that role to a different role? Don't take this the wrong way, but some people might say this is a step down. Why exactly? If you found another sales manager position role today for the same amount that I'm, offering you, or not today, I'm sorry. If I hire you today, you get on the team, sales manager, and then in 30 days, is it likely um, that you'll go with another job, right? So you'll start getting questions. Feel comfortable, right, for those uncomfortable situations, and that can only come up once again if you work on the research, you have a good intro, you have impacting questions, and if you use the remote career coaches, right? So if you guys jump on calls before the interview, you're going to feel more comfortable. Those nerves, those jitters, they're going to get out, and you're going to get another perspective. You're going to get someone that's been doing this for quite some time to be able to let you know, hey, you know what? That question was good, but hey, you still got an hour. You could probably think of another question, right? You could probably see how, brainstorm and see how you could come up with a way better question for the role you're about to go on. So with the intro, a lot of you may have a lot of experience. Some of you guys may not have that much experience, but nonetheless, hone in, right? High level. So they might either tell you, "Hey, Danny, go ahead, tell me a little bit about yourself," or even better, more brownie points is if they quickly introduce themselves. You go in, "Hey, thanks a lot. So yeah, my name is Danny. I've been in the industry for over 10 years. I've had roles anywhere from, SDR to account executive to sales manager, senior sales manager, and, I've also dabbled in HR. Some of the roles, most recently that I've held has been account executive, customer success manager, and the industries that I've worked in primarily has been technology, real estate, healthcare, manufacturing, XYZ. You guys can go off, right? This is the moment to go off high level on how many you've done. And yeah, some of the technology, and again, I'm technology agnostic. I've been able to use multiple CRMs like Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot. Currently using HubSpot as of now for the last 5.5, 6 years. And yeah, my experience within, my CRM usage has been anywhere from, creating workflows and automations, if it's true, guys. If it's not, cut the BS. They're going to call you out on that. If you get hired to become a surgeon and it's the day of the surgery and you don't show up, or you mess someone up, you're getting fired. So make sure that you cut the BS. But again, if you've worked on different types of campaigns, you've worked in this CRM, not just placing calls, taking emails, support tickets, XYZ. This is the opportunity, high level, to let them know what you've been doing, right? And then again, hone in and, okay, all right, I'm being looked at for an SDR position. I'm going to let them know why I'm moving into an SDR position. So yeah, some of the tools I've used has been HubSpot, Salesforce most recently. And as of now, I'm looking for a switch. Call yourself out on it. Address the elephant in the room because it's the first thing is on their mind. So if you most recently were an account executive, if you most recently were a sales manager, and now you're open to high paying SDR roles with good commissions, you still should bring it up, right? You should still, immediately say, hey, look, I'm currently looking, and in a positive way. Some of you guys have gone off. I know my man Tony, he made a great video and he started off a bit unorthodox. Hey, I shouldn't be this happy because I actually quit my job a few weeks ago. We had a few, things to square off with commissions, but hey, I'm now looking for a new SDR position. Little pattern interrupt, yes. Nonetheless, I would recommend it should be more, hey, now I'm currently looking for some, high paying SDR positions. Hey, that can be said on the actual interview. Some high paying competitive SDR positions. I'm a leader at that. I really want to start, working once again in the SDR space. I know that's exactly where the money's at, and my focus for the next 2 years, 3 years is exactly that: sales, potentially scale up to an account executive in the company if that's even an opportunity, and that's it, right? So within the intro, high level, how many years, industries you've worked in most recently, and then if there's any elephant that should be addressed in the room right away, that's it. Because the question will come up, or the question, again, if you go in and you go on off on all the KPIs and success you've been able to achieve, $1 million in revenue in the last company you were at, and you were able to achieve that within 6 months, immediately they're going to want to know, hey, well, what's that average sales cycle? What was the average deal size that you were bringing in? Were you just booking the meetings and getting some type of some interest, legitimate interest, and booking that now for your sales or your executive team to close? Was it full sales cycle? Were you doing the whole piece? So again, the more specific you can be within that 60 seconds, 2 minutes, is going to be very powerful. Being uncomfortable, right, in those situations when a question comes up can happen. Take a second. Don't let, the impulse take over and just answer any, right? So, oh crap, all right, compose yourself. Well, that's a great question. It is a bit cliche, but use it. That's fine. That's a great question. I mean, what I'm actually looking to make today is anywhere between 3,000 to 3,200 off of my base. My previous company, that's exactly what I was making. And of course, I'm going to be making some good commissions, but OTE, with base and on target earnings, I'm looking anywhere between, 5 to 6K. So if you say that, right, instead of just throwing a number, how much are you looking to make? $5,000. Okay. And why, what have you done in the past to merit those $5,000? Well, and that's where the nerves usually come in, right? So be prepared. I've said it already. We don't recommend you bring up pricing or budget on the first call. But if you're having a really good call, be prepared, because it will most likely happen. A company will probably ask you, hey, what are you looking to make? If you did a really good job on the call, they're most likely going to ask you that. What are you looking to make? Right? So those three things would be what I highly recommend, and what the marketplace recommends you guys focus on. Make sure you guys research about the company. You have a clear introduction about yourself. Remember to look at that job post and remember what type of role you're being interviewed for. Check out that company. Some of you guys have not gone, above and beyond and check them out on let's say G2 Crowd, see what other customers have said about them. Some have. There's probably a 2 or 3% that go in there and say, hey, I'm going to check and see what reviews they have. I'm going to see what other contractors that have worked for them have said about them in the past, right? So take a second and research the company, not only to feel more comfortable on the call, but to understand a little bit about, where they are today, their current state. Secondly, make sure that you guys have a good introduction. Make sure that you guys feel comfortable with any uncomfortable situations. And then finally, have one or two impacting questions for these individuals. So let me move back. So if we move now over to some do's and don'ts, we've heard a few. I know that, you guys already know you should never show up to the interview right on time on the dot. You should be there 10 minutes, 15 minutes before. We live in the world where internet might be, not on our side, right? If I were to get on this call 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes before actual showtime, I might run into some internet issues. There might be some connectivity issues. There might be a little bit of noise in the office, and I might have to let the team know, right? So there's a lot that can happen. And then let's not even say human error. Some of you guys are forgetting about these interviews. Maybe you got the time zones mixed up. So let's make sure that, we're helping ourselves out. So number one, if the interview's set for 12 Eastern, I'm showing up to the bridge, to the meeting link at 11:45. I think that's an easy win. you guys can get into the habit. 2, make sure that you guys are accepting these digital invitations. You guys are not getting into the habit. You're going to miss it when you get a job and you get invited either by a customer or your internal team. So make sure you guys are getting into the habit of logging in. I'm sorry, having your calendar, your tab open. I have it open all the time. I probably have a problem by having too many tabs open, right? But having a calendar tab open if you're in the interview phase, guys, very important. Visual. The graphic is going to be right there. You can have it there and you could check it before lunch. You could check it end of day. You could check it in the morning. Oh crap, I have an invite in an hour. I completely missed that. So being early, very important in accepting digital invitations. But before accepting, get into the habit of having your calendar tab open. Thirdly, your notifications. Your notifications will always help you, but only if you have it turned on. So on Google Calendar, you guys can actually go to settings and turn on these notifications. Some people will have it on 10 minutes prior, others an hour before. You have the flexibility of placing it, right? It's to what makes you feel more comfortable, but let's use the tools that help us not miss these interviews, not show up late, because again, first impressions count. And do you really think if you guys were interviewing someone for the first time, they're going to be working remotely and they showed up to your interview late, you might be a little bit more of a saint and allow someone, that first strike, second strike, third strike. I don't see a third strike when there is someone late or a no show. So let's make sure that you guys are setting yourselves up for success, especially if you guys are coming from a more on-site B2C experience, right? And you haven't really had the luxury of working remote just yet. And if you have, maybe you've only been working 6 months to 2 years. And then some of you that have already been working for 6 years, 10, 12, you're still sometimes missing these interviews. So we have those on the board. Another quick win. If you guys have, no, not if, you guys have a secondary time that you can add on your calendar, allowing you guys to have both Eastern and Central, sometimes Central and Eastern on the same time zone. So that one doesn't make sense, but then we can add Pacific time and Eastern. So make sure that you guys are using the tools, once again, that are in front of you to make sure that we mitigate any type of interview loss, no show, getting there late. What else do I highly recommend? Well, we went over it already, but why not? Research prior to the interview will always be a benefit. No need to deep dive too much there. Secondly, have a good introduction about what it is you do and have very clear what role you're being interviewed for. All right. Have impacting questions. Have impacting questions so you stand out from the crowd. You look like a consultant. You're not just there to, okay, I take calls, I receive calls, I do X, I just do what it is you tell me to do, which again, don't get me wrong. Don't get to a new role and start, changing processes right away if you weren't hired for that, right? Know that you should be able to follow an SOP if it's in place. But what I'm saying is, in the interview phase, if you come across as a consultant, I've done different things in different campaigns. I shouldn't have said things. I should be more specific. But yes, I've been able to generate X amount of revenue in different campaigns in industries like real estate XYZ. I've been able to automate platforms from Clay, from HubSpot, from X. So those type of situations, yes, we definitely have to come across as consultants. I've done this before. I can do this for you. And then to close it off, how urgent you're looking for that job, you need to put that urgency on. You guys put the urgency on the marketplace, right? But I don't see that as much with these with the hiring leaders. So if, once again, you guys did a really good job, put a little bit of urgency on them. Let them know, hey, Dave, thank you so much. It was a great, chat. Really love what you guys do. I'm excited if there are any next steps. If there's any assessment, any assignment, feel free to shoot that over to the marketplace, and I'll get that over as soon as I get it. Really excited. I do have a few other interviews, lined. I'm really looking to make my best, decision by end of next week. Hopefully January 5th, have my first day of work. So yeah, should I expect any next steps? That's fine. That is an assertive professional, right? You are letting them know, hey, I have a few things lined up. You might miss out, right? You might miss out on Danny if you don't let me know if I'm still in the lineup. And then again, you get a sense of BS and, oh yeah, let me get back to you, and it's kind of a general answer. Or, hey, we have a very tedious process. Just know that we're not looking to get you started at least mid-January. Cool. Now you put them on the back burner and you move forward, right? So the sense of urgency is really on you guys. Make sure that you close it off with that. And with that being said, assignment assessments are being given to you guys. It's a competition, so I get it. You guys are working. We got family. We have kids. We have our family members we might be taking care of. We're traveling. There's so many reasons. But know that it's a competition. There's someone that's a bit hungrier than you are. There's someone that might be, you know, offering or negotiating a monthly base at a lower range, right? So there's a lot. Competition is fierce right now. Make sure that if you're given an assignment and assessment, you guys are thinking about quality with speed. Some of you are like, no, I really like to make it perfect. I need to make sure I do X, Y, Z. I would highly recommend 24 hours would be very, very good. Muy bueno. 24 hours. 48 hours, I think, is that deadline. 72 hours, I think it's getting closer for you to be out of that competition, especially if there's several people for that role, right? So I think that makes sense. No need to speak more about that. And that's it. And that's it, guys. If there aren't any questions, I'll go over once again one or two questions that typically come up, which is, how soon can I get on interviews? The sooner you work on your profile and you put forth some effort and you earn a top rated plus badge. If you have a top rated plus badge, you are eligible for the Boost program, right? Boost program is allowing us to now promote your profile even more at a higher scale, right? And if you don't have a top rated plus badge, you're not eligible for that. You're not getting those promotions. And again, less eyes, right? Less visibility on your profiles is obvious. So make sure that you guys work on your profile. You put forth some effort, and that way we can feel comfortable with the proposed interviews, the proposed matching that we're sending over to these hiring companies. Now, another typical question, that comes up is, hey, salary, base, how does that work? So you guys negotiate that, right? Now, we recommend multiple things. We definitely recommend, if someone is offering $2,500, if you say that I am looking for 35, well, no, let's say 35 could actually be the roof. If someone's offering 25, but now they're offering, but you want to state that, hey, look, I'd be happy to take this job, but I need about 4,500. 2K, we've never seen a company go up, but we've definitely seen a company, raise the bar from their original offer at 2,500 up to 3K, up to 3,200, right? So make sure that, yeah, you guys are the ones that are able to negotiate. Don't self-sabotage, shoot yourself in the foot. Hey, what would make you happy to join our team? $8,000, but we're offering 2K. You asked me what would make me happy, right? So that doesn't matter. They're literally asking what would make you come on board, right? What would make you join our team? So make sure you guys don't self-sabotage. You guys are the ones that are negotiating this. You guys are negotiating your commission structure. If they have a commission structure, that's what they're providing. All I'm saying with that is, the question comes up is, do you guys get involved at any point with the negotiation? The answer is no, right? You guys are aware of the job post. They're aware of the range that you're in. and you guys have a conversation. And all I'm stating is, from the job posts that they've listed, have we seen companies go up from their job posts originally? Of course, 100%. All right, guys. Happy holidays, and we'll be speaking before the year is out. Make sure you guys work on your profiles, and yeah, speak to you guys soon. Have a good one.